In fact, I'll say it, Abe. I'll say it to start the podcast.
Oh my God.
Everyone should go check out what will be probably my final crack video ever, because they laid me off again. But my last video being coming out August 17th, which I think will be in the past by the time this drops, or it's tomorrow or whatever. But look for on the Crack channel a movie length thing. I mention it because we're covering War of the Worlds today. This is Frame Rate. Hey, Michael. Very similar in that it's zero budget. I made it all in my garage. It's just clips and shit. It's 2 hours long. I think my movie is better than this movie, Abe. I think I made a solo one-man movie better than this movie that we're going to cover. So look for that. It's on Groundskeeper Willie.
But it doesn't have Ice Cube in it.
Ah, I wish. You know what? Okay, can I kick the conversation off by saying the thing that is wrong with this movie, multiple, or agree or disagree, is not actually that you couldn't do this concept correctly. Like, it's not that it's impossible to do this, and it's not that Ice Cube fucked anything up.
A screen life War of the Worlds is actually like a good concept.
I was like, that's a solid concept for a War of the Worlds adaptation for sure. And I mean, they like data is a cogent, but not from you.
because bones are their money.
Bones are their money. Well, that was another thing.
Worms are their dollars, Michael.
Were the bugs, is that what the real aliens are? They're just the little ticks? Like, are they the sentient aliens?
That's what they're trying. The movie's trying to tell you that.
Is that true in the book?
Or that it's like a
I know
component kind of species where
like
it's like some of them are, you know, like the brain bugs in Starship Troopers,
right?
You know,
or Covenant and Halo, but like they're a union of aliens. Yeah, I mean, I guess I do know it's been too long, but I know in the H.G. Wells and in the radio play, the tripods are like revealed. That is a reveal at one point that, oh, that's not them. That's a mech suit. They look like this. But I don't think they're little microscopic ticks. I guess I just find it hard to buy that. I'm like, how'd they build a spaceship? Is that speciesist of me? I'm like, how did ticks build a spaceship? That's what I don't get.
What I love is that they're a little microorganism, a little tick, evolved to like just suck off a flash drive. Like that's what they evolved into.
By the way, it's Bender's big score. They sprunge data.
That's right.
Yeah. They're just aliens who suck data is the big twist in the adaptation, everyone. It's a modern day War of the Worlds, and it turns out the aliens are here to literally physically eat your data because, as one of the characters, the NASA scientist repeatedly says, they're a hybrid organism, half bio, half cyber.
Half cyber.
It's the best way. It's the most 90s way you could say that. That you have like a synthetic organism. They're half cyber.
Eva Longoria is like the whole time.
That's Eva Longoria?
Yeah, the whole time. She's like, guys, I got this one line. It's half biological, half cyber. And just, did you hear that? Did you hear, like, I love it when people say things in films twice, because it's like the first time it's like, that was pretty awesome, and then the second time it's like, just in case you didn't hear it the first time, so you know that I'm excellent, so you know that I had a great one-liner. That seems to be a lot of this script.
Loom's huge in my heart, so I always have to mention it, but in the spirit, egg on my face, Samuel L. Jackson take. One of my favorite moments in movie watching history of me going, what the fuck is going on? Like, there's like a handful of those in my life that I really treasure. And this movie, so Abe, how'd this rate for you as far as, obviously Gamefully covered it and Hot Dogs covering it. It's a viral movie for being so bad. Everyone's dumping on it for two things. It's super corporatized shill movie, which we will unpack for sure. But also it's just considered like, oh, this sucks. It's bad. How'd you find it on that spectrum, like of The Room? And you know what I mean? Did it entertain you throughout, or? I
would say much like what is superimposed upon like footage of the front of the White House, I'd say threat level medium. This film is a problem and we should address it.
Does it say that? Threat level medium?
Threat level medium on the White House.
Oh man, they do say that we're hearing from Space Force that the aliens are doing this, and I'm like, is there even Space Force? Did they carry through with that? Like, is there people enlisted in Space Force right now? Because I stopped hearing about it.
Yeah, it's there at one point in this movie. There's a lower third because they show the news all the time. Yeah. Sometimes Fox News, usually Fox News, but also BBC, because they like to represent, I guess.
It's What If War of the Worlds, instead of playing out on a radio, played out on your computer desktop. Done. You get the whole movie.
It's basically like an AI interviewed my father how much he knows about computers and then made this film. Right. But like at one point in this movie, the lower third, the breaking news, the headline is "Last Chance to Stop B-2 Bomber from Attacking DC." Like, who is that being written for?
Because he's the only guy. Ice Cube at that point is locked alone in the building that they're going to bomb. So that's just for him to know. Also, as many people have pointed out, but it must be said, there is at one point an edited news package that goes out announcing that the aliens did an EMP that shut down technology all over the world, and there's no more news or internet or anything. This is being announced via news VO.
Like through Twitter.
Yeah. And you see the internet working faster than it's ever worked in my life.
His whole
the internet seems to be working great for him. And his daughter can get impeccable FaceTime on the phone, because they're about to product promote Tesla, and they wanted that clear shot of the Tesla looking good. So like, so many corporate death of 1,000 cuts where they're like, well, the Tesla has to look good, right? You can't. So she has to have a good connection on her phone. Well, but the aliens did an EMP over the globe. Oh, dude, who gives a shit about that? You know what I mean? Like, that's the ethos of the whole movie.
I love my favorite part of that, like, let's go all in even though we're half in kind of thing, like the mentality behind making the movie, is 80% of the found footage, like the stuff they have of the military, the stuff they have of protests that they like throw up on, just to show that something's happening. And then maybe they'll CG a little tripod in the background. Their face is blurred. And at one point, it's zooming in on people like in a crowd.
Because they're using stock footage, I bet.
Because
and
they
don't
can't
have the
get
releases.
They don't have the likeness waiver of the person.
Because it's just some guy.
It has a box around them, and it's like identifying details about them. Like it's saying like, this is the footage that like the state is using for facial recognition. We also don't have the face. It's like that at that point you're just like, give up, dude. You're done.
Maybe the hardest aspect to buy is Ice Cube's job. He must represent buildings full of people, because to make the plot work, right? Because you want Ice Cube to navigate through, which he does, a paint by number 3-act structure, which can be done. There's that movie with, what's his name? Sabretooth, Liev Schreiber, Locke or whatever, where he's in the car and he does a 3-act structure action movie over the phone. Obviously, it can be done. But in this, so it's like...
I think that's Tom Hardy, but yeah, there's a Liev Schreiber.
Thank you. There's another Liev Schreiber thing like that. Vehicle. Haha. But my point being, in this, they do it by him having every app known to man, because you realize it unfolds. Each app is also a product placement opportunity, which is what the movie was really all about.
WhatsApp, Tesla.
Yeah. So it's like, he gets a notification from LinkedIn announcing that he's going to have a scene with his son now, because it's the time in the screenplay where that would happen. So literally, he'll be writing like a suicide note, or like to my kids in case I die note, where he says what his character learned in the movie, but it's not the end of the movie yet. So he'll get interrupted by a notification to do an action set piece.
It's called a callback, Michael.
But as a result, the hardest thing to buy is like, this one man, Ice Cube, is responsible for the entire nation's. He's like watching everyone in America. He's like Santa Claus. Like every time the president needs information, He calls
He's
Ice
the only
Cube.
guy.
He's the only guy in the building because it's like the weekend or whatever.
He's
and he's
Homeland
doing
Security.
threat assessment for all of Homeland Security for the entire alien invasion. He like briefs the nation at one point.
Not a single person is in a shot with Ice Cube
He's
in this
alone
movie.
on this.
Yeah,
also, he tries
fact,
to abandon his post immediately because his daughter's in danger.
Yeah, but he gets turned around.
He tried to ditch.
He tries to get away from the computer, and the movie's like, yeah, let's try that. But like, we also have to film the rest of the movie, so you got to get back in the seat because they only have one camera.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm saying technically he abandoned his post during an alien apocalypse as a highly trained government agent who was oathed to put his life on the line, right? He instantly was like, fuck this, I'm abandoning my post.
Yeah, I mean, I think
just
that's
machinations that he didn't.
But yeah,
I hope that our nuclear technicians and shit
don't care about their family.
Feel the obligation to protect millions of people versus their own family. Yes, that's the nature of that job.
If
a bodyguard jumps in front of a bullet, like some jobs.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, I guess you're right, but also if they're eating if their food, if data is their food, then I don't know. All bets are off, dude.
This just in, the aliens eat data and there's no more data. And it's like, then who the fuck is this just in? Who edited these news packets together?
Who are you?
Who's just
Who are you?
Also, I love, which a lot of movies do, way better movies still fall prey to this. The news people talk like they're not going to die. It's like, are you not invested in? They're just like, and the world is being destroyed. Like, you sound like you're just reporting normal shit. Crazy, man.
I do. To your point about Cube being the only person in DHS,
in Department of Homeland Security.
Yeah, and like there is no other tech person involved. At one point, he talks to his son, who turns out to be the anonymous
only hacker in the universe.
The only hacker. That's so they're the hacker family. He says, you think I don't know about government surveillance network? I am the government surveillance network,
dude. And they still try to do the trope where, of course, father and son are at odds, but by the end they aren't at odds. But they try to do the trope where their disagreement is that Ice Cube is like, you're wasting your life streaming, hacking, doing all this tech shit. What is all this newfangled who's a what's a tech shit? Dude, you're requisitioning satellites. What? You don't? Like, they try to play Ice Cube like he's old-fashioned, but he works for the DHS. Like,
he's super good at right-clicking.
He's super good at computers. Oh, also, if this is really how it works, this movie reveals that apparently DHS can just right-click on your car and there's a thing that says sabotage. And your car stops working.
I legitimately did
government can just sabotage.
At a certain point with these, like, I think they're called Screen Life, like Searching and other films like this, which the producer of this film also did Searching, which is like an actual serviceable.
Is this the Sev? Maybe.
No, it's not Sev.
It's okay.
But it's related. Like
friend.
Sev also produced
Searching. I know
Searching.
that, yeah.
So, but in any case, there's at one point that, because it all kind of gloms over, like it's just like zoom over, whip over to the mouse, follow where the mouse cursor is, and right click and then drop down, and it's like trying to give you momentum, and it's zooming too fast, and it's almost like, I don't know, it almost like gives me a form of epilepsy.
Pointed at your computer screen.
I swear to God, in my head at one point, Ice Cube like clicked over one of the tripod aliens and right clicked, and it said like add to friends.
Yeah, like your brain is just slamming impulses together. Sometimes yeah, it's just like together.
It's because there's so much like Facebook lines, shit, and then also his DHS stuff.
This reporter can't help but wonder, why are the aliens here? No shit.
No shit, Cronkite. My God.
God. It's good. It's good. And and then of course, as people pointed out, the other big thing for people who don't want to see it but want to know what's funny about it is that, and this is why I say it's not his fault. He's alone in a bottle episode reacting in a room. The director told him, okay, now you're learning that the world is ending, right? That they're saying on the news the world is ending. Get a reel, get a reel, get a reel.
Good.
But as a result, so much of the movie is literally just like that classic Ice Cube-esque moment in a movie where Ice Cube, as any given Ice Cube-ish character, might go, oh shit, oh man. But he just does that 5 times a scene because that's his reaction to anything that occurs. Because it's like, oh, he finds out his son is a hacker. Oh, damn, man.
Damn.
And then he finds out his friend betrayed him and he goes, oh, he lied to my face. Oh, wow. And it's just Ice Cube emojiing.
Like, yeah, he's emoting the whole film. My favorite is when his daughter Faith is attacked by the tripods initially, and it's like on her, because they're FaceTiming and it's on her iPhone, and we're looking at the tripod through her screen on his monitor, and his reactions are, get away from that!
Run away!
Oh, no. Stay clear of that stuff!
Oh, yeah,
stay clear of that stuff!
I also made a list. Oh shit, goddamn. Oh my God. What is that? Wait, what? It reminds me of one of my favorite YouTube videos people should look up, of these 2 dudes who find a sunfish, which is a really ugly looking fish, and they can't identify it. The guy keeps going, what is that, bro? Look at that fish. I think he's dying, dude. I think he's sick, bro.
It sounds like a Michael Rappaport.
Amazing fucking video. But that's what Ice Cube had to do. And I gotta say, he does a decent job. I'm like, man, he's trying. He showed up to earn his paycheck at least.
And you can see how much work he had to do. He's got glasses, right? So like the whole film, you see where production was at the beginning of production. We're like, this is going to be a bigger film than it ended up being. And they're like, so we're going to have reflections in his eyes of what's on the monitor in real time. Like that's like a tall order, considering that like 60% of the film is just of his face, right?
Right.
That you can see in the glare of his glasses, there's green screen. They put
I
green
never
screen
looked
on
for it,
so what Ice Cube is looking at is a room full of nothing. He's not even looking at a computer
he's
monitor.
This shit or whatever.
So they're just like pitching him lines. Say, okay, Ice Cube. Say, okay, stay clear of that stuff.
Now it's zapping them with the thing. Say, oh my God, you know, be escape. Your daughter's in danger now. Remember, say, oh my God. Okay, now you know your son's a hacker. Now you know he's a hacker. What are you going to say? What are you going to say, man? And he'll just go like, whoa. Okay, wait, I wrote this. This is a quote, the best one, of course, because it ramps. So near the end, you reveal that his one and only contact, who's his boss at the DHS, is of course the big bad and like sold everyone out, right? Briggs. And this is the quote, because this poor man Ice Cube is being told by the script, you have to explain this plot beat and you're alone. There's no one to talk to. Go. Action. And he goes, damn, they knew. They knew and they hid the whole thing. Dave was right. Wow. And he lied to my damn face. Holy shit. Briggs is behind it? Briggs, the whole thing. Wow. And he covered it up.
It's
awesome.
What they teach you in film school, dude. It's tell, don't show, man.
And of course, then his son logs on and goes, shall we play a game as a hacker? And you're
God damn.
Don't try to earn my nerd
so
cred.
Much.
Do not try to fucking play on my love of hacking, you piece of shit.
I also love that he has multiple times where there's like false positives of like, we're winning. And that's the time that Ice Cube is the best, because he gets to celebrate and revel in our success.
That's right. Alien,
take your intergalactic asses back home. Like he's so excited.
They gave him the easy button from Staples to fuck with, which a check changed hands for that as well.
Yes,
he has the easy button on his desk, so like every time you hit it, it goes, that was easy. So they'll blow up an alien. That's the one place they did spend money. It was to get Ice Cube and Nathan Longoria and to do the alien effects and comp them into stock footage. So a giant alien explosion money shot will go off and he'll hit the that was easy button. Yeah, so I want to at least let's mention, because it's hard to say to what a jaw-dropping extremity. Maybe they could tell the movie was so bad that they even amped it up to recoup their losses. I'm not sure. But this movie has more product placement hung off it as a non-comedic, as a non-joke than I've ever seen in anything per square inch of film. It's staggering. Like, we referenced slightly, but I want to explicitly call out his daughter, who, just on the bad movie level, is a brilliant biochemist who invents a hybrid bio-cyber virus that can kill the aliens later. Because the family also turns out to be the perfect group.
A biochemist who yanks a rebar out of her thigh.
Right.
Like, doesn't know anything about
doesn't know basic human body shit. Yeah. But she's pregnant, giving birth, bleeding out in the middle of the alien apocalypse. Dad is locked in and he can't get to her, but he can see her through the computer. And his advice is, okay, get to the nearest Tesla. The self-driving feature can take you to safety despite the alien apocalypse while you're bleeding out in the back seat of it. You pan over in her phone to like a beautifully pristine Tesla sitting nearby, like halfway down the block, just standing.
The Tesla shit is amazing to me because it might be the worst marketing of all time, because the whole point is that the Tesla is, you know, a self-driving car that he is controlling.
He can sabotage it with a
and click. The whole point is like he literally like clicks and goes like sabotage, and it's like the easiest thing in the world. And the Tesla's like, our cars are hackable.
Do you want to advertise that your cars are that hackable by the government?
It's the worst ad ever, and I don't understand who signed this off. Who was like watched this and was like, yeah, this is gonna be good for us.
Then that scene ends with him going to write half a letter in Notepad in case his daughter dies. He wants her to know he learned his lesson about spying too much on her. But he gets interrupted by a notification from the Tesla app telling him that it's stopped moving and the door's ajar. And he clicks back over to that window and the back seat is just covered in blood and his daughter's gone. And I'm like, that doesn't make Tesla look good at all.
This makes... It's just
the battery died and an alien yanked her out of the back seat. I love it.
Like it's like if James Bond in a movie for no reason had his fancy watch, his Omega watch, and he just starts gnawing on it, and it's like, why are we doing anything? Nothing makes sense. I can't believe Amazon though, because this is like the top thing on Amazon right now.
This is made by Amazon and available on Amazon.
This is going to come out and like this cultural moment may have passed. I don't know. But like, it's insane how they legitimately do. They actually do, as far as I would argue, like a legitimate good maneuver where if you're like, okay, so your character, your side character, the, fiance of his daughter is this Amazon employee, right? And so they set that up, and at one point,
his name, Abe, mark him. He's a good man. His name is Mark Goodman.
Mark Goodman.
I love that they're like, well, we want people to remark on how the Amazon guy's a good guy. I have the perfect name.
And he's Ice Cube's sweet baby drone, which we're gonna come back to. But like he is all right. So if you have that in your movie, okay. Product placement already, you're not winning any battles.
Also, his Twitter handle in the show is in the movie is like moves product, so he's all about that he works for Amazon. That's his identity.
And at one point, they're like, he needs to make a tourniquet real quick, and he pulls out the the
tape dispenser,
the industrial tape roller. And he's like, I got this. I'm a pro. And I was like, halfway is like, all right, like, yeah, in your movie, if you have a character who's like, all you do is shipping all the time and you want to make him look like a badass, it's a cute, funny thing to do.
Or at least earn a curmudgeon's respect, right?
Right. But then they go and ruin it because then later, like almost like 10 minutes later in the film, he essentially says like, oh, I have an idea. Well, there's this product that Amazon's coming out with called Amazon Air that is where drones deliver your goods and can do it. And he's like,
so I can deliver the Independence Day hacking payload bomb.
Right. And it's just, it's so bootlicking.
Oh, dude. And he goes,
it's so boomer.
He goes, oh, the drone won't turn on unless there's an order. hey, Pops, which is a sign of respect that he lets him call him Pops now. That's why it's a big
Yeah.
moment. Pops, do you mind ordering the thumb drive to the alien address? And we watch a screen cap of Ice Cube going to Amazon.com, loading product
Yeah.
pages, picking out a product, putting it in the cart, and buying it. You literally are watching a movie scene of someone purchasing products.
A transaction.
It fills
Yeah.
the whole screen. Is just a guy clicking on the product page of Amazon, and then it cuts to a kid being like, now I can fight the aliens. And I don't know about you, but I was like, I see what you're doing, you clever Amazon.
Clever. Yeah, no, it's not that clever.
No, it's an open secret.
I love the transaction aspect of it. It's like something that I
they
thought
showed him
of.
buy it is amazing.
Like Tommy Wiseau has that scene in The Room, right, where he's like, "Here, I would like to buy flowers or whatever," and he's like, "That will be $2." And it's like, you are my favorite customer. Hello, doggy. That scene, like that's just textbook. But here's the thing: this is a worse film than like a Neil Breen film, if you're familiar with that filmmaker, or Tommy Wiseau in The Room. Those are bad films created by egomaniacs who have a lot of money. And it makes sense that they're like, okay, I have this vision of this shit vision of a film that I'd like to make, like we all do. And they just do it.
Happened
and
upon
it's
the money,
awful.
so they did it.
But this is...
And we're blessed by that.
This is the equivalent of Death by Committee of that. This is the worst film ever created because it crossed so many eyes.
It's corporate money. This is all the corporations got together and like, this had to straight up be, if not AI written, humans who are telling themselves, like, just shut your brain off and be a robot. Like it is.
It's also
a bunch of brands getting together and going, do you think we could make a 90-minute ad with Ice Cube as a movie? They're that dumb, aren't they? I think they are that dumb. But no, that's the vibe of this film.
It's also evil in a way that like few films are. Like Space Jam 2, Warner Brothers is evil for saying, look at us, we're the villain, whatever. Anyway, buy your stuff.
But this is actual corporate propaganda.
This is the same
because it does the insidious shit that people do actually get low-key influenced by, whether they want to or not, which is it blames the fact that all this spying shit got out of hand and that the aliens want data on one bad apple, which is the only defense people ever have when the system is corrupt. Is they're like, oh, it's that guy. That guy's a fucking prick. He's just crazy. And then at the end, the president calls Ice Cube and is like, I just want you to know, Ice Cube, that this was like a crazy aberration, that the government was like invading people's privacy.
Which he would have a point because it's aliens.
Like, I'm super focused on like Tesla, Amazon, all our corporate partners. We won't be doing that anymore. Okay. You cool? We're cool, right, Ice Cube? Fake actor playing the president.
I like your Dr. Evil right now.
Ice Cube is like, nah, man, I'm done spying on the
people's
people.
Amazon's carts.
I'm going to be a government disruptor. And he joins his son and becomes a hacker. So it's straight up, hello, fellow kids. It's the company thinking it can away, being like, and we're cool.
That's evil.
We think data's it sucks when people steal your data, right? Motherfucker,
we're like you.
One. You are the data.
They're stealing our Amazon carts too.
You're the alien bug.
Yeah, you're part of it. It's evil.
You represent the alien bug.
Yeah, it's basically talking about Big Brother the whole time and how we need to fight the police surveillance state, but it's also like,
but it blames the government,
drones.
not corporations. It's straight up corporatization propaganda over government. Like, like
they're co-opting the anonymous look. Like they straight up have his son as a character called Disruptor.
Got all his friends killed. Congratulations, Dad, you're officially a disruptor. Welcome to the crew. Alien missiles shoot every single person.
It is a boomer dream. It is a boomer dream because the boomer is like, it's like, I have to imagine
all your kids'
it's like
shitty
someone
friends
who
get killed,
barely knows how to use a computer, and they send an email for the first time where they have an attachment. Like they add a PDF, and the PDF, of course, is like, here are X number of reasons you should vote for Donald Trump or something like that, right? And like, so the feeling that they get when they sent that email is probably something along the lines of, my God, I'm a hacker. In the same way that I think millennials have that
Right,
feeling
I'll
when
handle
the
this.
first time they use like the command interface on Windows.
Right
you know,
now,
it's like
people
or
using
you use
AI feel that
DOS.
way, and that's why they're using it even though they shouldn't. Is they're like, oh, in my use case, it felt convenient. And it's like, yeah, but the information is incorrect, but that's a separate issue. But yeah, point being, like, yeah, couldn't agree more.
They because they're like the thought in their head is I'm like a hacker now.
Right.
It's the wish fulfillment of like also what if we were able to connect with the youths and the people who are like the punk hackers? I'm now one of them.
They
And
also
it's
say
that-
you're cool, you're all right, old man. We love you. Yeah.
yeah,
at the end.
exactly.
But,
And it's so it's that
but
wish
at the same
fulfillment.
time, obviously they don't fundamentally understand even the basics of sci-fi offers that are like accepted
Right.
in modern day. There's a line in this where the hacker's son, who is the cool hat, the one who does know this shit, says to the sister, wait a minute, DNA is just like computer code. You could make the aliens eat themselves.
And my favorite part is that Dave is like, exactly.
Yes, that is true. Let's do that.
That is exactly
That
what we
works,
were thinking, all of us.
That is what, of course, we're all thinking that.
It's so wild,
five.
the offers. It's because it's like, it's so clear that the stitching of the writing is so visible because it's just like, and that complete thought ends.
Right, where he goes like,
what's next? You know, like, and that's the next line. The next line is
he
someone
loads like a
saying
document, as we said. It writes like, here's what I learned right before I died, and he starts to write it out. And you're like, that's when they say show don't tell, they mean that exact moment. That's the main moment tonight. Like,
that
you want to
it's
juice
like when
that
the transition.
moment. You don't want the climactic catharsis to be text on a white notepad.
Anyway, I'm your enemy now. You know, it's that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's the anyway.
You just made a powerful enemy. We're going to go now and do the next thing.
So I think we need to really address, you know, speaking of this boomer aspect and stuff like that, what does the movie think data is?
Yeah, it feels like
because there's
also,
battleships that are like beached.
It almost feels like this was made by Palantir to convince corporations that data is even more magic than it even really is. Yeah, how does the data fuel them from an energy perspective?
So that's one question. Very good question from a sci-fi perspective. Also, how does the loss of data cripple the world?
Dude, because
as you mentioned, it doesn't.
Well, but specifically, amazingly, the way he knows the data's getting eaten is his Facebook page starts to step by step,
his dead wife's Facebook
graphically
page.
Undo itself with like a progress bar that says like Facebook unwinding,
deleting.
Who programmed that eventuality?
Yeah,
like that GUI element.
That's not how HTML works for sure.
Yeah,
but like, yeah. Also, it cripples the entire military at one point. And then, by the way, it doesn't later. Like, some parts of the military are highly affected, and then the military's fine. Like, Humvees are fine, but like a destroyer, which I could imagine, you know, there's like a DDoS attack or something like that on like some mainframe in the Pentagon, but that's not what's happening.
It's just weird. It's just totally inconsistent because there's points where they show planes falling out of the sky because the systems failed to such a degree
they're out of
that
data.
They can't even glide. So that means the mechanical failure on the part of the wings and shit. And yet the high-speed internet still works to connect to his son in the middle of a war zone. Like, they do that constantly. It's back and forth. It's not just inconsistent. It is Room-like, where it's like, well, you keep reversing what you presented.
You're wrong in a way that it's weird.
Yeah, you're violating yourself with every cut almost, or every event.
Because they talk about it sometimes, because the inconsistency is one thing. That's just bad writing or plot holes or whatever. But there's also like the core concept of like, what does the screenwriter actually think data actually is? And that's like a potion unclear.
It's like food or...
some characters refer to like they lost all of their data, that's why they're fucked, you know, like it's,
or they'll
like
say that's why an oil tanker in the middle of the ocean blew up, is because they lost
it
their
ran
data.
out of data. And it's like, what did you just say?
They ran out of the data, so the GPS stopped working. And then why did it explode? There's more.
But let's go back to your first question about the aliens' perspective. So why can't they copy paste like video files and eat that?
Why can they not duplicate data? What's wrong?
What is it about data? Is it the stories? Is it memories?
Because they could have easily said, because this is part of really the book War of the Worlds. One of the cool things about War of the Worlds is the aliens have a really like phasal cool strategy. They like bombard us with asteroids, and then they cause atmospheric disturbances that send out electromagnetic radiation to kill a bunch of our technology. Then the tripods land and fuck shit up. Then the actual aliens come in the book and the radio show. But all I'm saying is they could have easily said, well, part of their attack is they take away your data to put you in the dark. But they decided instead, no. These are the aliens. They eat the data with their little bug mouths. They land on the wire and they go nom, 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 and the data goes away. It's insane.
It gets deleted. It gets deleted from the mainframe
by them swarming over your computer like the scarabs in the Mummy.
Yeah.
Fucking
they're crazy. Sucking your blood out.
They're sucking your data juice. And then
that's what data is.
The president comes on and says,
God
I have no choice, but I am forced to declare this War of the Worlds. And Ice Cube claps as chimes start to toll, and he's like, it's a War of the Worlds.
They're also at one point, because like also data is ubiquitously like, you know, the ones and zeros on the hard drive, but also sometimes people use it in terms of like the data stream, you know, like, so that's possible. But at one point in this film, we have to disregard that because they don't know what they're saying. Because at one point Ice Cube says, oh shit, the servers, they're in hyper download.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, they're downloading a double
hyper
good plus download. Yeah.
So they download the data for them to eat it. So there is a download.
Right.
So they know that. We know this
downloading you know
the bones
it's
are their
duplicative,
money.
Not reductive to download
data
something.
Is their food.
That's still there when you download something. That's the whole point of data. That is its defining feature. Is that it's abstract and replicable.
It's a blank canvas.
It's funny that that's like their whole thing is Lynch. Like the main hinge is data not doing the one thing that it is and does. All the reason it exists.
Another boomer thing that I love is like lack of awareness of how much time things take. Like there's multiple times where he's presented, Ice Cube that is, as super tech savvy and fast, and we see that on his monitor. He's right clicking like you know, so fast.
He puts together a spreadsheet lickety split.
But at one point it takes him like 8 tries to understand that his internet is not connected. Like he tries to like, let me look at Google. Google's down. Let me look at Facebook then. Facebook's down. And it keeps saying like, dude, you're not connected to the internet. And he's
Dad,
like, what is this?
I hate to disrupt you, but I have to tell you something. He's like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to know what I don't want to know.
Yeah, I don't want to know. There's no way you can convince me.
I have to go deal with this disruptor guy.
Yeah. He also edits a video at one point and put like, they actually say like 30 minutes later.
Yeah.
Because he is like, son, daughter, I have one thing left to do before we start all this stuff. And it's right before the final act. And he edits a video and posts it on the Disruptor channel while the aliens are in mid-attack. This is all still, you know, within an hour or two.
He sacrifices himself by getting eaten as he shoved. It's exactly Lon Suter's death from Voyager.
Right, but like he makes this video and he posts this, and it's like got his face, like he had to go into Photoshop. He had to do a lot of stuff
for that video.
Like his editing video, I'm pretty sure everyone here knows kind of what that entails. It's not going to take 30 minutes, first off, no matter how fast you are. Also, why would you be doing that? Why would you do that? This is the attack.
And then, by the way, what he leaves them as a personal note is he goes like, and in case I die, which of course they do the thing that all kinds of hacky movies do, which is after the credits or whatever, it's not even credits, but it's like you play some music and then you cut back and it turns out he lived. And there's no explanation. It's like, but we saw him get eaten by the aliens. And it's like, yeah, he just survived it. I don't know. Who cares? He didn't die because it makes me feel good. But he also is like, in case I did die, I left my kids a private letter, and we're allowed to, of course, hear Ice Cube read that.
Yeah.
And what it is a folder of photos called Keep 'em Safe. That's like, you know, Homer keeps Maggie's picture at work or whatever, but they're all hacked photos from like him spying on his daughter while she's at the bank using his DHS
or her
powers,
smart fridge,
or like using the camera in her nanny cam to look at her without her consent at a time she doesn't know she's being watched.
Yeah,
it's all
or uninstall
weird.
his son's game.
Yeah. His method
Steam.
of showing love is controlling and corporate and invasive and weird.
Which again, you can't really do. I'm pretty sure, unless I guess you can be the owner of all these things and you can have a remote connection. But like one of the weirdest things, again, signaling boomer to me, is at one point what mentally philosophically alters in this movie. The only moment is it's done by an email. Which I don't know about your folks, but like they think they're saving the world sometimes when they send me a PDF that like has like, here's why XYZ is wrong with, you know, and that's how he's convinced. He gets like his son is like, listen, Dad, I know you think you're entitled to your opinion, but here's a book I wrote about how the government is bad. And Ice Cube's like, nothing in that file is ever going to make me believe otherwise. Looks at the file for 1 minute, immediately convinced.
Shit.
I think that's the boomer dream, right? When they send me the email that says like, look at this appeal to, you know, pro-life or something like that, like it's gonna click and I'm gonna read for 1 minute and go, oh my God, I'm completely changed. My opinion has changed. It's a fantasy. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that for them.
Daughter says at one point, where is it? You know what your problem is, Dad? You think you have control. You have to learn that you don't control anything and let go. Oh, check. Got it. Okay, we can check that off the writing list. Right, now he has a character goal. And then she goes, ironic, isn't it, Dad? Your problem is you never wanted to leave that building, and now it won't let you leave. You're pretty fucking incisive for the person bleeding out because they're giving birth in the Tesla.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, can you stop narrating the movie, maybe?
But everyone is that to him because
everyone just says this is
he's a red flag
in the movie now. Yeah.
Like almost less than 20 minutes in, like his son is like, you need therapy.
And do this.
You'd stop spying on all of us. Like that is a conflict of interest. You're using government funding to essentially spy on your children. That shouldn't be happening. You need to not do that. You should be fired. You should go to therapy.
Right.
And he's like, no.
And ultimately his lesson, as he expresses it, is essentially just a vague abdication. He says, I wanted to keep you safe, but I held on too long. I don't know the right way forward, but I learned from you guys. Keep your brother safe however you think it's best to. Which is a non-answer, right? It's the corporate saying, what is our message on this? Our message is, hey, kids, it's all good. Like, that's the vibe of...
Yeah,
they're just sort of backing out. In fact, like, I don't know, I wrote a thing that I'm not going to read, but I got so incensed, I wrote a little mathematical. I'm like technically on some structural level, the message of this movie is slavery is freedom. Like it is through the looking glass Orwellian propaganda.
Lack of privacy.
It is bizarre.
Yeah.
Like lack of privacy keeps you safe. Can't you see that Ice Cube
give up
loves
something?
You? Yeah,
we'll give you something. We totally.
They use $1,000 Amazon gift card to make an unhoused person weave between the alien tripods, risking their life as like a light joke because the Amazon drone needs to reach its destination and it got flipped like a turtle. So they need to flip it back. So they're like, there's an unhoused dude there. And they're like, I bet he has a phone. Everyone has a phone. And they're like, oh, see, he can't be that poor. He has a phone. Like all this subtle fucked up shit is woven throughout.
Yeah,
where it's like, this is very corporate boomer coded. This is very Trump. Get these homeless people out of DC coded. It's yeah, and there's a close up of $1,000 Amazon gift card in between just to like insult you even more.
It's the paradox. Like, yeah, it's
and then there's
constantly arguing against itself.
Like when he's flying the drone, someone goes, "Do a barrel roll."
Dude.
And I'm like, dude, that reference is from fucking 35 years ago, you boomer screenwriting.
I love it.
Fuck.
I love it.
The only kids, quote unquote, references they have in here for the tech guy to say, are do a barrel roll and would you like to play a game? And I'm like, those are, you might as well be quoting Charlie Chaplin hacking into something.
I think those are banger references, personally. They're all-time bangers. But I do want to dissect the do a barrel roll just one more shade, because it's Ice Cube who says it.
Yeah.
And it's during a time that he is away from the computer, which first off, because he has to go down to the server to get the flash drive from the Amazon Air Prime drone, so he can plug it in and it will give the virus to the,
which makes them eat themselves because they're biological.
So it's the finale, it's the climax, and it's the setup where he's running around the building trying to find this hidden server room or whatever for Goliath, this concept of this, the all-watching eye, the panopticon of American institutions. And so Dave is driving this drone and he's simultaneously away from the community. So he's not looking. In fact, he actually calls himself, because we look at his monitor, which I think his daughter is
he's doing the shaky phone cam because he's running around.
But like it's his monitor though. Again, do not know how computers work. So in order for us to see him on screen, that means he would have to call himself, which is weird. And then also, so he's running around
in the middle of the
trying to figure shit out,
setting up good shots.
And he's got a phone, which I assume is just the one-way FaceTime that he's having with his daughter. Maybe there's like a picture-in-picture thing of like, I don't know why that would be true, but let's just assume that's how phones work, because that's how they do. And then we get away from, we cut to Dave's stuff, and then he's flying the drone. That's when Ice Cube says, do a barrel roll.
Yeah.
So,
because he knows an alien ship is following that. Right. He's essentially again yelling, well, don't get killed by the aliens. Run away. Yeah. Avoid that. Yeah.
Do a barrel. But it's like so specific and like apt to the moment where a barrel roll would be an effective choice. Yeah, no, he does not know what's going on. He's just doing that as a joke. I understand how movies work, but also
I am forced to declare this.
It's insane. It's an insane offer.
I'm forced to declare this of the world. Man, God, and he lied to my face. Wow, it was Briggs the whole time. Gosh, God damn. If you in some of the trailers, not all of them, because they changed it. Once I think they saw the way the wind was blowing. Man, if I was Ice Cube, I would launch a tour. I would monetize this so hard, this viral moment.
Yeah,
but,
I would.
The tagline in one of the trailers that ran for this movie was, "It's worse than you think."
That's just
amazing.
Again, the marketing is fantastic.
Yeah, they mean the alien threat, of course.
No, they don't. They know.
Oh, you think they're doing it now? Oh,
I think they have to be.
They probably got me to have the exact reaction they wanted me to just now.
Probably.
Yeah. Well, smart. Good. That is what they should do. That's how
it's
you
unclear,
do this.
But I'm starting to think that that's the case.
This is what we always talk about. You're watching it. Capitalism subsuming the criticism of capitalism into
we talked
itself.
about this with Electric State.
This is that movie. This is that agent of the government doing its dirty work to you. And just being like, in the future, kids won't care about privacy, right, kids? That's old fashioned. And I'm like, I know why you want us to think that. It's pretty transparent.
It's sinister. It's sinister for sure.
Sinister. Yeah.
It could be incompetence, but it could just be a smart marketer who's just trying to make a buck as well.
I wonder if it shaped up like an avalanche where it's like they hung the Tesla deal off it, then another deal, then they found a home at Amazon, and now they're like, well, now it's a fucking parade float, but what are we gonna do? It's too late.
It should,
or did they
there's
know
no
from the
shame.
beginning? Like, was it pitched as, listen, guys, we're going to get LinkedIn in this. We're going to get Slack in that. Like, every single icon on his desktop was probably a check to the company, right?
I mean,
imagine.
That would be the best case scenario, to be honest, because that means this movie did it in a smart way to at least try to make its money, which it definitely will be because of the virality of this
like
moment.
He uses
it's like the
Chrome.
number.
I got to imagine they paid Chrome, or Chrome paid them.
Yeah, but if they didn't, that's what separates this from like a Birdemic, because that Birdemic was like, what's okay, so Facebook, Amazon, Tesla, WhatsApp, like we got to think of like, that's what people would be using, so it works narratively in the story and it makes us look official. I think this movie could be doing some of that, but it's probably trying, like, I believe that like, the producers could be in those rooms.
It's in our best interest to just normalize our corporate friends. Let's make the world be fully ads all the time. Yeah,
I do think that there was probably things that were not, just
not
because they don't have to, based off fair use. Like at one point at the end when they're doing their, like celebratory bow, and everyone's like, America's like, they're the greatest family of hackers.
Yeah, they specifically this family, but also it ends with American exceptionalism, and it's like, how tone deaf can this
exactly. And at one point it's tweeted by Joe Rogan, the Joe Rogan experience, that they're heroes. And I don't think Joe Rogan's, probably was putting out ad space on this Ice Cube movie. I don't think they care. Nor do I think that WhatsApp probably. But I do think... I mean,
I'm actually not versed enough in... That's what I wonder sometimes, the classic being like the E.T. Reese's Pieces thing, where I could believe either way, where I'm like, did Reese's Pieces pay him to put it in the movie to sell Reese's Pieces? Or did he pay them for the right to use their copyrighted product? I don't know what the law is.
Remember, we talked to that guy who was like, "That's my job,
is to figure out who pays who,
to figure out,
more.
to make product placement not feel like product placement. That's what I'm so good at.
Who's got clout?
Because we've had a series of movies where it does feel like we've lost that art.
Something. Anyway, I forget, but he was like, "I'm the reason blah 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 and Waterboy is Mountain Dew. It was just going to be generic green drink and it's Mountain Dew because of me." He had some claim to fame like that. Like,
but we are in a shameless time where it's like the corporations, it's hello fellow kids, but it's also just like they understand that like putting out the product as a name establishes you.
It's also
just like Pepsi saved Madam Web, like the Pepsi Corporation killed the villain literally with their sign. And it's like, we have no shame. It's not product placement anymore. It's actual narrative load bearing beats gifted to corporations.
And I think part of it politicians have led the way or been hand in hand with the realization that, mankind, different cultures discover this over and over and learn their lesson and go back and forth and pendulum swings. But it seems that we're in an era of a large swath of people being aware, which is true, that you can always fool some of the people some of the time. Like, it's that scene in Memento where he's losing his memory while he talks to the lady who's the femme fatale betrayer, and she's like, "It doesn't matter. All I got to do is keep talking to you as your memory slowly
You're going to forget."
I know that they're probably going, yeah, of course, they can see through this. They know it's corporate bullshit, but there's a generation of kids who are going to be raised seeing only corporate bullshit, and by the time they're 20, they're in the water. They're fish in the water. Like, this is a long con to ruin society,
to normalize this behavior. No, it's 100%. We don't even have to gaslight you anymore is kind of the
or like everyone gaslights everyone. You know how it is. That's just how society is.
How it is. That's how life
that
is.
as normal.
Yeah, slap it down.
The AI bros want you to accept hallucinatory information as acceptable and normal. It's fun. It's funny stuff.
It's funny stuff.
I'm done, but I want to say other things just about the movie being bad in funny ways. Too real quick. One of the reporters reporting in the field that the asteroid wave is hitting the Earth says, these unknown objects are falling to Earth as what used to be called shooting stars. Then one crushes her, So we'll never get to ask her, aren't they still called that? Why are they not
Yeah,
called
why are
shooting
they
stars
not?
anymore? And then
Right.
also I just think it's I guess this isn't funny, but my last film point, I'm just, you know what I'm doing. I'm reading my notes that I bolted because they were the
Yeah.
most interesting. But my last one is I do think there's something fundamentally broken brained in a funny way about thinking, you know what we'll do? We'll recreate what fucking Citizen Kane guy did. I don't know why I can't pull his name, but you know what I
Orson
mean. The
Welles.
brain.
Yeah.
We'll recreate the brain's radio play thing, which is famously the power of it is that radio requires you to imagine. The power of the
Mm-hmm.
book is it requires you to imagine. It seems so obvious to me, and of course it isn't to a giant board of corporate stooges, but to me, just any intro writer could tell you trying to create action set pieces like they do like battle scenes with soldiers and the White House blowing up and shit, but it's just someone looking at a screen describing it. You're like ruining both purposes. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
giving us so much stimulus that we can barely keep up visually going, "Oh, that's what he's clicking on, that's what that means." So there's no time for my brain to conjure anything evocative or interesting. I'm just tracking what I'm visually seeing, and what I'm visually seeing is grainy, blurry phone footage of Ice Cube voiceover going, I think that alien's shooting that building. Oh, it blew
Oh,
up. Oh, see that explosion? That's the White House blowing up.
that's crazy right there. That is a line in the
And
film.
it's just like,
That's crazy right there.
what you're doing is the opposite of what you're doing. And now that you're always going to lose if what you're doing is
Yeah.
the opposite of what you're doing.
I
Does that make sense at all?
no, I totally agree. In another way, I mean, this is maybe getting too much. Like maybe I might be a little auto-correcting here, but it feels like a failed psyop. That's what this film is like. It's a bad version, but like any good psyop, which it's not. But any like psyop, so I should say maybe like any psyop, its intended purpose still shines through. We see where the thinking comes from, and like the hegemony of thought that created this monstrosity is essentially trying to convince you to be a certain way. It is trying to normalize random behavior that they find good. And part of that is, the product placement, which is the obvious one. But it's also like that they are like, hate the government. Hate the government. The government wants to bomb a building and it's going to take 5 miles out of DC and they're going to kill civilians. That's insane. B2 bombing for
the
single
government
building
will sacrifice you because they don't care about you, but Amazon would never do that because you're a customer. We have to treat you well.
Amazon wouldn't do that.
They wouldn't do you like that. Like it's like you're two steps away from forming an actual sci-fi dystopic corporagarchy or whatever, which I'm sure we may see in our lifetimes, where it's like Staples presents the United States of America or whatever, you know.
It's out all at war of the technocrats versus the diplomats. It's insane. It's an insane, preposterous world.
President Taco Bell is giving a speech. All that shit is just on the horizon. Again,
Mike Judge fucking nailing it.
It's Brondo's. It's got what you crave or whatever.
It's got what you crave or whatever.
Crave.
Perfect. Yep. At one point, Ice Cube says, "Move, bitch, get out the way," to an alien.
To sort of place this in your mind of when they started kicking this idea around. Ludacris was
Ludacris was on the short list.
Dude, just the barrel between move bitch get out the way, do a barrel roll, and would you like to play a game? I am imagining the fucking crypt keeper sitting at a typewriter being truly a typewriter being like, what do kids think is cool? What do kids think? Good shit.
Data is their food.
Data's their food. They're cyber.
It doesn't get worse. It only gets better. Data is
does that
food.
Joke also multiple times where the NASA lady goes, "There's these crazy electrical storms all over the world. Are you worried about that?" And he goes, "Nah, I just watch people, not weather." And then he says that again later, and she's like, "Yeah, you said that joke earlier."
He says that multiple times, but then it
that's
cuts
your line
to
that you say.
within less than 10 minutes. It also cuts to him watching the weather,
Loading up weather.com,
and he's going like,
because he's
"Oh,
piecing it together."
shit!
He goes, "Wait,
God
this weather
damn!"
really is
Like,
crazy.
He actually is very invested in weather.
Well, he's
It
open-minded.
proves him wrong.
He changes his mind frequently throughout the movie. He learns his lessons easily and quickly when the time comes.
He's great.
He's like, "Oh, it's Act 3 o'clock. You got it, dude. I'm on board.
You got it. Yeah, son, I love you, son.
I love
before
you now. It's all good.
Before you sucked,
yeah.
But now you're great.
I hated you and blamed you for your mother's death, but now we're good."
And then, like, yeah, again with the, I mean, it's boomer stuff. Like with we keep talking about the Ridley Scott of it all. You know, like the olds. Francis Ford Coppola, you know, like all these olds coming up with films that are like, let history go upon the youth, they will determine the next chapter. And
a lot of older
like,
people are just landing on, this is my movie where I say, and I pass the torch to you now. And I'm like, did you ever consider you don't even need to make that movie? Or like, they know that. You don't have to communicate that.
And you look at the people who are involved in this movie, and none of them are like that old.
Sure.
But it's the mentality where they're like, what's the big emotional beat of the movie?
Youth good.
He emails his kids that he wasn't a great father.
We're aligning with youth on this project.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like that. And you can't help but look at that, and in a film in the context of this film, go like, that is, again, deeply sinister. Because it's like saying, like, it's like the equivalent of Disney saying, like, oh, you know, even though we've hated the gays forever, now we're all about gay.
Now it's Pride Parade Day at the park because
so
that's the way the wind is blowing. Who gives a single shit? Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what's popular now. So that's where the money is. And it's like, I can't help but, like, maybe I'm you know, again in a bubble or something like that. But every time I watch something like this, it's crazy that they try to get away with it.
I had a deep conversation a few drinks in at a time when I drank. It was a younger, bolder man with an old man, extended family member, you know, like a great uncle through a marriage. So like no one you'll ever meet, and he's dead now, who I knew from the family history had gotten rich by screwing his own daughter out of her company and like taking the money. And I asked him about that, and you know, his defense was, it's just business. And it's so profound to me. Like that, right? He's like, well, I didn't murder anyone. Or she signed the paper, like buyer beware.
Like all's fair in love and war, I guess.
Like, so what are we trying to be in this life?
Like, what is the game?
And I love that these people are like, probably like, we're not hurt anyone. We just murder art. Art doesn't really exist. Who gives a shit about art? And that makes me so sad, but I can see people feeling that way. I can see how you can live a life without art.
Well, I mean, when you think of movies as solely a commodity, it becomes a lot easier to justify its destruction, right?
Yeah.
Because, you know, the commodification of anything, it's just
people.
property.
We do it to people, so obviously
it's
we
not
can do it
thoughts.
To
it's just it's a thing. It's paint on a canvas. It's not.
Well, and I've talked to advertising friends, you know, and I've heard them say things that I kind of agree that there's logic to. Where they're like, I'm not stopping so-and-so from making an important movie about what they believe in. I'm just also making more of the world because that's my job. They pay me to do it. I'm doing my best.
Look,
job
art
I can do,
is a
blah,
commodity.
blah, blah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
we are craftsmen. Like, artists are craftspeople. It's all of that, but it's also several other things.
Patreon.com/smallbeans. As I said, just lost my job. Everybody sign up.
Yeah, we're in a mood. You're a rude dude right now. I can tell just how you're sitting.
Yeah, man. I turned my chair
You're ready
around
to take on the world,
to talk
man.
to Horseshack after class. I'll tell you, I do want to start mentioning it pretty regularly, but I'm about to, as we tape this, fly to Germany for Gamescom, which is a big video games convention, because I was hired to write the Xbox material for this year's convention, which is great because I will get a big flat fee for doing that, and that will tide me over for a few months. but I have lost all my streams, my actual recurring streams of income. And the only reason I mention that is not to guilt people into patronizing, but to tell people and start building toward that we'll have more time to release some special. We're gonna do some special projects and goodies and
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm excited
There's
for
gonna
the
be
next
more
few
small
months.
beans. Yeah, keep your eyes on the feed. Or
Keep
if you
your eyes
never
on-
check on the actual Patreon, go look at the
Mhm.
Patreon, see what's up. So there's gonna be cool shit.
Well, that's super cool. I wish my job sent me to, what is it, Gameskrieg or some
Gamescom.
shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
very excited to
The
finally get
German,
to go.
yeah.
Never got
The
to go to
fight of the
E3
games.
because I worked at IGN during COVID, appropriate to this film. Obviously
Mm-hmm.
executed during COVID.
Yeah.
But now I get to go to Gamescom. So yeah, look for my social media content from Germany.
That's right.
I'll be filming an episode of Please Send Help from Germany. I'll have to figure out how to justify that I escaped from the garage. I was thinking to like maybe I'll do an episode.
That's a cool opportunity.
Where at the end someone comes up behind me and recaptures me with a bag over my head or something.
Oh yeah, you get a second one.
I got
and you
out.
have to slightly
I'm hiding
change.
in the hotel. Yeah. We'll figure it out.
That's it. When this comes out, later in the weekend, we have another Shooting Threes coming out on Friday. And this one, everyone. What's the trilogy? Lord of the Rings, baby. So look for that with Sarah and Bridget. And then of course we got more See You Space Pod Boys and more one-upsmanship following the next week. So everyone get in gear, and hopefully September and October we'll have a lot more cool stuff coming from the Small Beans Patreon. So check that out. It's always good to talk to you, my brother.
What's the German word for love you? Lieber Gu. We lieber Gu.